In this video, I'm going to take you from having no website to having a website that's ready to start making money for you. I'm Kim Coleman, and today I'm going to set up a membership site using Bluehost, WordPress hosting, and the plugin Paid Memberships Pro. I'm starting this tutorial with no Bluehost account, no membership site, no domain name. I'm just going to start at the very beginning and show you how to sign up for hosting, get access to your WordPress site, take a short tour around the WordPress admin, and then install necessary plugins. This is the Bluehost pricing page. For this demo, I'm going to click their lowest tier pricing, but if you have better needs or more understanding of what you're looking for your membership site, you could choose a different plan. Of course, you can upgrade it later, so if you decide that the plan you chose isn't robust enough for your needs, you can upgrade at a later time. It looks like this screen is asking me to connect my domain name. If you had an existing domain, you could check this box and enter the domain name here. You will have to later point it using a DNS, and I'm sure Bluehost will give you instructions for doing that. I'm going to choose my domain name later because this is just a demo, so hopefully they'll just set me up with a basic domain that I can use for my staging site. Here's our checkout, so we'll continue to the checkout process. We don't need to add any additional features at this time. Perfect, so my checkout is complete and it's redirecting me to a dashboard within my Bluehost account. And I can click a website, which has this welcome site. It looks like this is the domain it generated for me. Let me click on settings and see if there's anything here that we need to talk about with respect to this. It looks like it has a way for me to have, SSL is already turned on. That's great. I can link right into versions of this site. So the staging site is like a clone of this site. I can link into the phpMyAdmin, which is the database. Probably don't need to do that, or the file manager. I think all we need to do is get right into the WordPress. So let's click here, edit WordPress site, and see if this just connects me to my WordPress admin. Perfect. All right, where would we like to start? Guided website setup, import, or use an AI site creator? I think I am going to say I'm following a tutorial. Take me to the dashboard. I haven't used the Bluehost setup wizard like that, but I think I'm just going to go with it on this route. Cool. So now I'm in my WordPress site. It looks like it launches it in like a coming soon mode. So it's something we can do to launch the site later to turn off that maintenance mode. And it looks like it's just a great Bluehost feature to allow you to work on your site before it becomes public on the internet. If we go to the front end of the site, which is just this URL it generated for me here, it does tell me that this is on preview, and it just says set up a basic WordPress site with the default 2025 WordPress theme. We'll go into themes a little later, and some sample pre-filled content. So the first thing that I want to do is give you a tour of the WordPress admin. So every admin, this WordPress through Bluehost is not different than other versions of WordPress that you'll see. So I'm going to go through some things I like to do. I'm going to just dismiss this setting. I'm going to remove some of these dashboard widgets here. This screen options, you'll see it on a lot of screens within the site. So you can hide things that are not interesting to you or not useful to you. Also within the dashboard, the update section would be where I'll come back if I ever need to update any of the code in my site, just all through this interface. I don't need to do anything with real code or anything like that. It looks like Bluehost pre-installed some plugins. So let's jump over there now to deactivate some things that I don't plan to use in my site. So I don't know that I plan to use this Creative Mail plugin. I don't plan to use Monster Insights. I have my own list of plugins that I like to use. So I think it's interesting that they add so many of these already on install. You might feel like you need to use these once you set up this site. You might think that they're the best options, but make sure you go do your own research and decide if these are the plugins for you. Yoast SEO is a plugin I would recommend in using, but I am also going to, now that I've deactivated these, I'm going to delete them from the site because it's just a good thing. Even though you can have a lot of plugins and it's fine to do that, it's also a good thing to only keep plugins that are active in your site or you plan to use the code. Otherwise, they're just sitting there cluttering up your interface. Perfect. I'm not going to touch this Bluehost plugin because I imagine that we really want to keep that one on, and we can look at that later. Excellent. So that's the plugins area. Plugins in your WordPress site are the way that you extend the experience with more functionality, more features. We're going to install a plugin later on in this tutorial. We don't have to do that right now, but I think we're just in this mode of cleaning up this demo site that it's set up for us. So that's our plugins. Let's also take a look at the themes and what was already installed with this. So Bluehost didn't populate my WordPress with additional themes, just these core ones in WordPress that come with the base version of WordPress at this time. I'm more of a fan of 2024. These themes are all considered block themes. So in the description of this video, we'll put a tutorial about the different types of WordPress themes and themes you might want to consider. I myself am a theme author, and the theme that I use in my membership sites is called MemberLite. So we'll put a link to that also in the description for you there. Cool. Okay, how do I get rid of this? It's going to be a lot of admin notices. We'll just keep closing them, and hopefully we can suppress a lot of this stuff. Cool. So I just changed that theme to that other default WordPress one. You'll see here how that changed the appearance of my page. So themes and plugins, we'll put some links in the description also about what are these for, what are these used for, and other places you can learn more about this. Let me look at the other settings in my site. If I go to Settings General, I can adjust things like my site title. Cool. A site icon, that would be the icon that shows if people bookmark your site or in this little tab in your browser. So your option there if you wanted to set something. I'm not going to change these WordPress address or site address URLs at this time. We did say we were making a membership site. That is not this setting. That's something else entirely. But I do want to keep anyone can register off for now because that will turn off WordPress core default user registration. We don't want people just registering user accounts in the site. We want them to go through our membership plugin to do so. Here we can change the language of our site. This would tell all of our plugins that we're using, our theme, if it had language packs, what language to load content in on the front end of the site. You can also set a specific language for yourself as a user in the site if you want to. I can adjust my time zone here and the formats of dates and times displayed within the admin of the site, but also on the front end for your posts and things like that. So let's save changes so that adjusts our site title, and we'll see if that did something here. Yeah, in this theme, it is pulling in my site title, so that adjusted here, but it doesn't have the site tagline anywhere. Cool. So I'm happy with those settings. The first thing that I do in a WordPress site, I think we have another tutorial. I'll say there's a link in the description also for kind of the things I do when I first boot up a new WordPress site. Cool. All right, I think we're at the point where we want to make this a membership site, and we're going to install a plugin. So you go to plugins, there's a way to add plugins that are in what's called the WordPress plugin directory. The one we're adding today is not. We're going to download it separately. So I'm going to go to Upload Plugin, choose File, and click Install Now. We'll just wait a moment while this installs. What this is doing is taking our zip file we downloaded from the Paid Memberships Pro site, uploading it to the proper location in our Bluehost hosting account, and unzipping the folder, so it's going to be ready for us to activate this plugin once it's installed. Excellent. So let's click Activate. And from this step forward, we're going to be in the Paid Memberships Pro setup wizard. So that's as far as I want to take this tutorial because there's other great tutorials on setting up Paid Memberships Pro. But we did it. We got from no website to a website. We now have a working WordPress we can use. We can install plugins. We can customize all the content in our membership site and set it up and start getting paid. The last thing I want to do is just a tip to make sure that you never accidentally show your protected page content to the wrong viewers. And this is something called caching. I know with Bluehost we have a compatibility guide. We'll put a link in the description, but it's really important that we make this one final step so that we make sure we don't have this issue in our site. So let's go back to our Bluehost area of our WordPress admin and click on Performance. And then I want to adjust this to assets only for the cache level. This just makes sure that the pages themselves, the content that needs to be dynamic based on who's viewing my site, isn't shown to the wrong visitor type. So we can cache assets only safely in a membership site. And that's it. You're now set up. That's your Bluehost site. That's your tutorial of setting up a Bluehost WordPress site and Paid Memberships Pro. I know there's a lot more that's going to have to be done. I'm not trying to make this overly simple for you, but the first step is just making sure you have a WordPress admin and you have the ability to install plugins like Paid Memberships Pro, and you're well on your way to having a successful membership site.